Hey y'all, welcome to episode 234 of Consignment Chats. All right, we're talking to you are you a dreamer? Are you a part-time reseller? Are you, Samantha's going to relate to this, are you a burnt out 9-to-5er? If any of these things kind of fit you, guess what? This is the episode for you because we are going to talk about turning hobby reselling into a full-time income. And like our last episode, we had Libby who has walked the walk. We've got Samantha who's walked the walk. So we got real life, real practical steps to share with you. If you're thinking, could I? Should I? Yeah, we got you. We got you. But before we jump into this, to help all of you dreamers and burnt out 9-to-5ers and hobby resellers go full time, before we jump into that, I want to know how your week is because I am feeling slightly disconnected with you two right now.
I know.
Hey y'all, welcome to Consignment Chats. This is Molly, and I'll be joined by my co-hosts Libby and Samantha.
Yeah.
We haven't hardly seen each other at all.
I know.
It's summertime, right?
Summer
Summertime.
Samantha is in the house. I just, kind of played off that. There might be Summer Libby in the house. I'm not sure. I'm trying a little something new here.
We're going to come up with a name for Summer Libby. You need your own, we'll come up with your hashtag.
Lackadaisical Libby.
Lackadaisical Libby.
She's liberated. She's liberated, Libby. and
Liberated
I love
Libby.
it.
I like it. Yes,
Yeah.
I like it. Liberated Libby.
I was literally sitting on a beach, like toes in the sand, like having it. And then Libby sends a picture and she's out on, and I'm like, I think Libby's having a better time than me. And I didn't know that was possible. She's out on a boat, living her life.
Meanwhile, I see that and I'm in the pool with Poppy floating on floats, chit-chatting, having a drink. Like,
That's
we were
great.
all loving our life.
Yep.
was a
Good week. Good week.
Good weekend. Yep.
Yep.
All right.
But-
so
I felt
Go ahead.
very disconnected because I haven't.
I know.
It's weird. We usually talk like every day and we've all
Right.
been off doing our own things. So, Samantha, start us off because it was not just a regular weekend for you, girlfriend. It was your birthday weekend.
it was
Happy
birthday weekend.
birthday.
Thanks. It was a good weekend. So the week was crazy for me. I do have a picture from my eBay meetup.
Oh, yay.
That's my mom, Rebecca. And that's Sherry's hand in there. She's holding some stuff up. I was trying to take some candid photos. My mom had an awesome garage estate sale type thing that she went to. And she brought in like a box to show and tell everyone. And we all looked up comps and keywords. And she's taking notes the whole time. It was so much fun. So
that is fun.
Yeah. I think everybody, and we say this all the time, but everybody should look for an eBay meetup.
Mhm.
It's easy to start one. I literally just say, I'm going to be at the cafe down the street for these hours. Pop in and say hi to me. That's all I do. I don't schedule speakers. I don't do any Zoom things or worry about, I just sit and have coffee with the 4 or 5 people that show up and we chit chat about the sales that we went to or the sales that we've had, like that kind of stuff. And it's so much fun. Even when I'm stressed and having a crazy week, it's so much fun. It was good.
We have quite a few meetup leaders in our Patreon community that,
Mhm.
if you're questions about it, like hop in there, ask us some questions.
Yeah.
Quite
And
a
even
few.
if maybe there's already one in your area, but it doesn't coincide with the times that you have, or there's some sort of conflict, there could be 2 more of them here and people would still come to them and be happy. I'm sure that I know that people don't come to mine because it's on a Wednesday morning, but that's the time that works for me and what works. So, I mean, yeah, even if there is one area, you can start one or whatever. They're fun though.
Start one, you can be in charge of the schedule and do what works for you.
No,
so there's that.
I've been talking about this since eBay opened, that there's not one in Greensboro and there are so many resellers and I keep wanting somebody to start one. And I'm like, I don't know that I want to be the one to start it. And then when you start talking, I'm like, surely I could start one.
You could do it. I do it once a month, which you don't even have to do it that often. Some people do it once a quarter or every other month you could also do it every week and have coffee with people for an hour every week. I don't know, whatever you want. There is a lady about an hour away from me and a gentleman, resellers. and they talked about alternating, and I'm like, we could do 1 month there, 1 month here, and also I'm open to that. Like, there's so many
Right.
possibilities. Yeah. So that was Wednesday. It was fun, nice little hangout. And then Thursday, I had my nephew. Friday, he spent the night, so he got to wake up here on my birthday and hang out. And my brother said, we get to go do whatever you want to do. And one of our community members, Pam Henry from Whimsy and Such, had just told us about a beach that's near me. It's a couple hours away, which here is like nothing. And to go pick glass and cull it, because it used to have a glass factory, 100 years ago on that beach. So I told my brother I wanted to drive up to Christmas. Yes, the name of the town is Christmas, and there are giant Santa Clauses everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just west of Paradise. We have lots of fun names here. So really it's Munising, Michigan, but the little tiny town of Christmas. And so we went up there.
Sounds like those Hallmark movies are filmed there,
Right.
At
So
Christmas in Paradise. Aww.
It's on Lake Superior. There's lots of islands in the background. And super fun. My nephew decided, I said, here, that's a good stick to write your name in the sand. And he then wrote "Happy Birthday, Aunt Sam" along the entire beach. It took up the whole thing. It was adorable.
That's so sweet.
This is the picture I sent you guys. We were literally had just stepped foot on the beach, and we'd already found some of these are rocks, a lot of them are cullet, little glass pieces, and some of them you can't tell the difference, especially when they're not wet. They just look like gray rocks.
Right.
But when you get them wet or you hold them up to the sun, they were all purple glass. We found purple glass, a lot of green glass, and then I really love the gray glasses with all the layers in it. And if we went out deep enough, we found those. But when you plan a trip, in 5 minutes and it's hours away, I didn't bring a bucket. None of us had our water shoes. We just, so luckily most of it was sand, and we found a lot of stuff. I don't have any of it with me, but, we were very ill prepared. So we're definitely going to go back with supplies. I also didn't know that I've been rock picking my entire life. I live 5 minutes away from 3 Great Lakes. I didn't know that if you put a clear bin, a really clear bin, in the water, it will decrease the waves, and it can see better as you're looking at rocks on the bottom. As we were leaving, this family got out, and they had these little bins, which I have some on my shelf over there, but they're covered in stuff. But yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I have 20 of those. But you just put them in, and I was like, genius. That is genius.
That's so smart. It's like a looking glass.
And I do have to mention, we have an episode. If you guys are interested in cullet, you've never heard the term before,
yes.
Go watch. I will link up in the show notes our episode with Pam of Whimsy and Such. And she does kind of a little bit of a dive into cullet, because that is one of her specialties. Just a super cool thing you probably never heard of before, but it's just really interesting.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
I was educating so many people on the beach. They were like, look at all these purple rocks.
You should have been handing out the C Chats cards.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Go watch.
so then we went out to dinner, and I have a hard time riding in the car after we eat, especially everything that we ate. This delicious restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants. So, and I also
what did you eat? I mean, I just have to ask.
Seafood Alfredo. It had crab and shrimp and scallops.
Oh, yeah, that fits really well for a car ride.
So I had a third of it, and my brother, we split it. He had the rest of it, but I was still, so much. So I also have a hard time traveling to Munising. Anybody that knows Michigan, Munising is the home of the pictured rocks and a bajillion waterfalls. I have a hard time going there and not stopping to see a waterfall. I don't think I've ever not stopped and seen a waterfall there. So I hadn't been to this waterfall in about a decade. We drove over. First of all, I love any path where the trees touch. That makes me happy.
Yes.
They redid the stairs. They redid the stairs. This was half of the stairs you had to go down. So I got my exercise in for that day.
Whoa, so you have to go down. You use them to get back up too, right?
Yeah.
I hope you were wearing your Fitbit, girl.
Yeah, I was.
That's a good thing.
It actually asked me if I was okay because my heart rate. Because It's like I want to say 3/4 of a mile. Maybe it's a full mile walk. Nice, but like slightly downhill on the way there. And then you get there. Bill counted. There are 155 steps altogether. And we stood. I don't have any pictures of me standing at the top of the waterfall, but you can stand. It's a 100-foot waterfall. So then you're essentially going down 100 feet of stairs, and the waterfall. Can't quite see the top of it, but it's just really cool the way it cascades down. It's just one big chunk of rock, and it's really fun.
So
when I was younger, it was a lot easier to hop over the railing and go stand on various parts of it. I have pictures. Our oldest daughter actually has senior photos where she's standing in the middle of that. But they fixed the thing, and you're not supposed to do that. Yeah. So my nephew didn't get those pictures. But yeah, so we went and did that. Then we were all uber exhausted and had to drive 2 hours home. But that was just Friday. Saturday it thunderstormed. We didn't do anything. And yesterday we went kayaking.
Kayaks.
All right.
Nice.
Yes.
So it was a good
Great
weekend.
weekend.
Yeah.
Great weekend. And you got color.
So much color. It was so hot yesterday. Oh my God. The screen looks like I am pink, and that is in real life. Yes, I am pink. Yeah.
It's for real. It's for real.
Yeah. So my weekend was equally, like fun, and I'm really working on this week, last week, and this week is balance. You guys know I'm completely imbalanced with my work life thing. I'm okay with it. But I'm sorry, my Google is going off.
I was about to say, what is that?
Yeah. So I'm working on, squeezing in some fun summary things into my schedule and still getting the work done. And I'm going to try out balance. We'll see how it works for me.
Give
This will
it
be
a little shot.
When you figure out how to do both, let me know.
Right? Yeah. We all want to know.
Yeah, it definitely involves sleeping a lot because I'm exhausted.
Right?
Are you?
Bill's
so
like,
you went on the lake.
Bill's like, I don't understand why we're so tired. And I'm like, it's because we got fresh air. That's what that was.
Right.
That was a lot of fresh air. Yeah.
And that's how Poppy and I were, and all we were doing was floating in the pool. And then we got out of the pool, we showered, we got dressed, and we were like, well, let's go and then we're on the couch, and an hour later we're like, boy, we could put pajamas on and watch a movie now.
Yeah.
And like we were just floating, but it's just the fresh air, the sun,
Yeah.
But
Libby, you were on a lake too, weren't you?
I was. Went out on a pontoon boat. It was cold. It was cold, but it was fun. It was, haven't done that in a while. So just really enjoyed it. Right in the middle of the day, like smack dab in the middle of the day. Like this is unprecedented. So I went out on the boat for a couple hours, enjoyed myself, came back and worked some more.
Good
Really?
Job. That's
wow.
That was weird. I'm not going to lie.
I got to give you lots of creds for the plugging back in.
Yeah.
Because that's hard. It's one thing to get up in the morning, work, and then go do something.
Yeah.
But to work, go do something, and then come back and plug back into work after being on a boat on a lake for a couple hours, that's like amazing.
Yeah.
I bow down to you.
All right. Well, I'm doing it again today. So
that's a superpower. What are you doing today?
Today I'm going to the water park. Yeah. So just for a couple hours, middle of the day, trying it again, seeing if I can balance. Yeah.
Good job.
And when's the nap come in to play?
The nap.
She does a nap.
I know. I wish I could teach her, but it's just not for everyone. 20-minute nap, man. You could just rule the world.
I know. I'm so jealous.
Snoop Doggy was on the same board with us. You got 20 to 30 minutes. If you sleep more than that, then you get too tired. Yeah.
Yep. You can't.
Yeah.
To me, the 20-minute window is the perfect window.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Perfect window. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that'll be my next step after taking breaks in the middle of the day and doing something other than work.
I was going to say, Libby, I don't ever want to hear the word never out of your mouth anymore, because you have done so many things in the last 2 years that
Right?
are something I never thought Libby would do 10 years ago, Libby. So
right.
we can't ever use the term never when it comes to Libby anymore.
I like to keep you guys on your toes.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
Like, she's-
And you do.
Everybody around me has to be on their
Yeah.
toes because you just don't know.
She sounds like she's like rigid in her ways. Like, no, I would never. But she is one of the adventurous ones. Like, she's just as adventurous as Molly and I, but she doesn't come off like that. It doesn't. People wouldn't know unless
It's
they're
my little
adventuring
secret.
with you.
Now you exposed
Right.
it to the world.
Dirty little secret. Dirty little secret. Yeah. So
All right.
I'm going to go a little business real quick on my week, because it was a good week, and I'm happy that I hit my numbers again. I exceeded my numbers because I had
Woo!
2 weeks left in the 12-week year to make my main goal of my bringing in money, my come to mama money. And I was like, for a while there, I thought, oh gosh, I'm not going to hit it. And boom, I overdid it. So now my last week, I'm even less than I thought it was going to be having to make, which is good, because right now sales have started off slow today, but hopefully it'll pick up. But yeah, I'm feeling real good. So I ended up having Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning off, but then I worked Saturday afternoon, Sunday. So that's just how my life is now. My weekends are work, and my Thursday, Friday-ish are play days for Molly.
Oh, so now it's bled over into Thursday.
Well,
okay.
it's always
Friday. Now we're
Thursday
bleeding over into Thursday.
Friday is Fun Friday. That's been dubbed that, period. But Thursday has always been kind of my I don't put off in the calendar, but I also don't drive as hard as I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. It's just kind of always been that Thursday. I still always get work done, but I don't drive and focus as hard on Thursday.
Well, and this past
week,
we
went to Charlotte.
Yeah, you had to drop things and go see your son. And was he able to get all the stuff he needed?
He got it all taken care of.
Good.
Good to go. And we had a nice lunch with him. So that was fun. And yeah, we enjoyed our time with him.
Good.
Did a lot of sourcing, videos to come. So,
oh my gosh.
And you released a sourcing video this week, right?
On
our
yeah.
Thrift Find Flip channel.
Yes. If you head over to Thrift Find Flip, there was a new video release this past week. It is a local yard sale. And I got some goodies at this yard sale, y'all. And it's funny because unfortunately my filming cut, but you'll hear the ending of me talking if you listen to it. But that I had asked this woman at one point, I'm like, did you own a store? And the other friend of hers started laughing. She goes, no, she's got 3 daughters. I mean, when you see the stuff that I bought and the stuff that I still think, why didn't I pick all that up?
Really?
There was, if you just look at the shelves and the tables, and there was so much stuff. I mean, even crafting stuff that I should have gotten for my craft room. I mean, she had rolls and rolls of the vinyl cricket sticker stuff that
all right, guys, you know what? Like, go watch the video and comment on all the stuff Molly missed and screwed up on. Go ahead. Let her have it.
Call me out. Go ahead.
Out.
Even when I was editing it, I was like, what was I thinking? What? I was thinking I have a budget and I need to stay in my budget. That's what I was thinking.
Well, you did a good job with that, right?
Well, I did. I felt good about it. I did.
Excellent.
I did. So, yeah. So that video comes out, and we did do sourcing in Charlotte on Thursday after lunch. Well, before Cal met us for lunch, because he was in the DMV line for quite a while. So we sourced before that, had lunch with him, and then hit a few more stops on our way out of Charlotte. And then I drove back to Charlotte Friday, spent the night with my cousin Poppy. And then on my way home Saturday, I was like, I need to get up and get out early because we've got to get to work. I should be home by 10. And then I had to stop and get gas. And then I kind of accidentally happened to look at the yard sale app. And then I was like, oh, if I go left and take
like
this
Samantha
route.
and I at Bojangles, like our accidental Bojangles visit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We accidentally fell into a Goodwill. I don't know.
Just happened. So I did hit a couple of yard sales, and I'm actually extremely glad that I hit them because they were the price to sell, get them out. I mean, here's for instance, the Ormolu, the gold Ormolu Kleenex box, $1. Like a signed Scottish mull pottery, lidded, beautiful oceanic pottery piece, $1. Like
yeah.
I spent $24 and I came out with so many amazing things. So yeah, they were fun. 4 women in their chairs in the shade under a tree. It was fun.
I love it. Love it.
So, Nick maybe not so happy because it then did take me, I didn't get home till noon and I was going to be home at 10. By the time I got home at noon, he had already steamed and photographed a bunch of clothes. And
you were like, look at all the progress you're making, honey. Here's more.
Well, that's exactly what I did because I only grabbed 2 things of clothing at the yard sale. But then when I was going through High Point, I ended up at a stoplight and there was a Goodwill right there that I had never been to. So I did step in there for a few minutes and I did find a couple of House of Harlow dresses.
I've never heard of that.
Tuckernut. It's a Tuckernut brand, but they're beautiful. I found 2 House of Harlow dresses and a couple other bangers while I was in there. So I didn't stay long, but I was home by noon and got right to work.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready to talk about, are we ready to help our burnt out 9-to-5ers?
Yeah, let's do
Are we
it.
ready to help our hobby sellers? Do they need us, y'all? I think they need us.
If they're dreaming of going full time.
I mean, how many times do we get this question? Like, especially when I was in the storefront, people would come in, they're like, this is my dream. Like, I've always wanted to do this. How do you, I've been full-time, earning a full-time living since 2012? Actually, I think it's just my 13-year anniversary this last week, but
congratulations.
Thanks. I have to look up on LinkedIn and see if that's actually true.
I know. I'm like, did I start in 2010 as a reseller or was it 2011? And I got to look on Facebook and figure it out. But yeah. Awesome.
All right. Here's what I think. We obviously have our own personal journeys to share, right?
Yeah.
But I think we need to start by clarifying that to become a full-time reseller, y'all, even though I talk about my thrifting all the time, it does not mean that you just get to thrift all day. I just want to start with that. That is not what it means to become a full-time reseller.
Yes.
It took you a long time to figure out the balance. I mean, I think you have it real good now, but
yeah.
That's why just recently do we consider her a full-time reseller.
This is a very recent development. Yes.
Molly has now been reselling full-time for the past year, guys. Good job.
Right. So I think personally for me, what I'm thinking we should focus on right off the bat is the very first thing you have to do, because of what Samantha just said, my own journey, is that shifting your mindset from the fun hobby part of it to actually turning your mindset into an intentional business-minded part of it. Like to stop thinking of it as extra cash,
right?
Sushi money, sushi and Starbucks money, as Samantha would say.
Yeah.
To stop thinking about it as the extra cash, I'm going to tuck it away for a vacation or whatever, and turning it into more of the, I'm thinking about my profit margins. I've got to think about, like, really, it's that business mindset. And you really have to intentionally change that mindset. Yeah. Especially if you've been doing it for so many years in the hobby form, you've got to take that from that to the business.
Yeah, I mean, get a mirror, practice in the mirror. I am a full-time reseller. I am running a reselling business. Be very careful and intentional about the way you talk to other people about it. Don't be dismissive of what you are doing or minimize it. This is my business. Like when I do reseller reflections, I say every day, like, a full-time reseller supporting her family.
Yeah. You're saying it to yourself every day.
Every single day, because it's very easy to kind of, I think, in the reselling world, to kind of minimize what we do.
And it doesn't mean it's not still fun. Go ahead, Samantha.
Well, I do want to also say that before you listen to all of this, please still listen, even though if you have no intention to ever go full time. I, for the longest time, did part-time for like 10 years. I did part-time hobby, sushi and Starbucks money. Like, it was just fun to flip stuff. And then I ended up flipping stuff for other people, and it was cool. But these will be the tools for if it gets to the point where you want to go full-time, or if you're currently thinking about that. Because I wasn't thinking about it, and then all of a sudden I was living it and I needed to do it. So
I think even if you are going to continue to be part-time, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think even if you are continuing to be part-time and you are just doing it for sushi and Starbucks or whatever, you really should embrace it as a business, whether it's part-time, full-time, own it. And if you're ready to make that transition to full-time, it's going to be that much easier. And if you stay part-time, I think it's really still better to embrace it as a business and not a hobby.
Yeah. And some of these points that we're going to touch on are can be equally as important in not equal, but can be important in a part-time business. You can use these strategies and these tips in your part-time business to make it easier on yourself, right? Like you're talking about, like, let's start with knowing your numbers. I mean, that's one of the most important things, especially if you're thinking about making that switch, or even if you're not, but knowing your numbers. And dadgum if Libby didn't create something beautiful for us to easily know our numbers.
Oh, shucks, guys.
We love the listing calculator. So go on to consignmentchats.com, and the link will be in there for our free listing calculator. You just need to put in your email.
She said free. Okay, go ahead. I want to make sure. I love free things.
Right? You literally just have to put in your email. You'll get like 2 emails from us a year, because I have never implemented more than that. And you get access to this spreadsheet that Libby designed to walk you through. You put in your goal of how much you desire to make, or how much you need to make. Maybe, you're looking at, I want to pay my mortgage when I quit my job, or when I go full time, or whatever. You put in however much you need for that, and what you're currently selling, and it will tell you how much you need to boost that up, or what you need to do each day, each week, each month, in order to get to your goal and make sure that you are making enough. So that way. You know
what's beautiful? What I love about it, especially because we all just talked about our crazy weekends and balancing our fun life with our fun work life and how to do that, is that you put in how many hours, like you talk about how many days a year you can work. So this is your time to go ahead and say, okay, well, I know that within the year, I want 2 months of flexibility to take time to go visit family here and go to this music fest and take a weekend at the lake. All that you can plug it right in there and go ahead and have your vacation time set. Like, boom.
Yeah, I'll link up our episode on the listing calculator where we talk about it. If you want to see, how it works and get little tips and tricks how to make it work for you, go ahead, watch that video. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So you've got that, you get it set in, you can do it and look at what you're doing now, then decide where you want to build it to, set your goal, make your plan. One of the things that I've recently started doing that I never did before, because I was just working and selling and having fun hanging out with my besties, right? Like I wasn't as focused on it as I have been really in the last year, but even more so, since we changed my business model, which there's an episode on that, but even more so since we started the 12-week year, because that was a huge game changer for me in my business. And I am thinking of things that I swore I'd never think about, y'all, because I am not a numbers person. I don't.
She pulled up a spreadsheet the other day and she was like, check this out. And I was like, what? Molly, I don't do spreadsheets. I'd be like, just all you have to do is just look. It's fine. I don't do spreadsheets. I don't do math. I don't math. Listen, she pulled one up the other day.
Nick about choked on his scotch the other night when we were sitting by the fire pit. And I said, I've got to get my sales. I got to make sure that I get over $819 because I have to do that the next 2 weeks in order to hit my goal. I did the math yesterday and he went, oh, you did math?
This is amazing. What a
I love this more than
milestone.
anything that's ever happened at C Chats.
I didn't even have my banker do the math. I did it myself and knew what my numbers needed to be by myself. So
What is happening here?
Nick's
But-
still trying to recover from the shock, and that was 4 days ago.
he's just mad that half of that nice scotch he likes ended up on the deck ground. But it's also had me change where I've always just looked at, what's my pay each week, what's my pay, like the actual profit, like how much am I putting into my shipping inventory, how much am I, we had to order boxes yesterday, and before I was like, oh, just order them. I'm like, wait a minute, how much are those boxes? How's that going to cut into my profit? But these are the things that I highly recommend. Don't be old Molly. Be Libby, Samantha, and new Molly. And know your numbers. Start with that listing calculator, but also tracking your numbers, tracking these accounting things that you might need, but don't overdo it. There's a fine line, right? I mean, y'all talk about what's important and what is not important. Like,
we see
this is
so
such
many people. This is like my soapbox here.
Yeah,
it really
guys.
is, y'all.
Like,
Excuse me, y'all. Hold on. I just gave a soapbox over to Libby.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please, for the love of God, do not spend more time tracking all of these details than you need. If you find that it is cutting into your listing time, like start minimal. Like literally just start minimal. You can always drill down and start tracking other things later, but we see so many resellers that spend so much time on their accounting and the details that you really don't have to do. Like start with the bare minimum. Like they're spending so much time on this. It's just eating into their business and taking away from what they're selling. Like it's
so what would the bare talk about the bare
frustrating.
minimum? What would the bare minimum be?
Bare minimum you
break
need
it down
to
quick.
do like is at the end of the year, you can literally pull what you have spent on. Like you do need to track what you've spent on inventory if you're out thrifting, or track what you're paying. Like you need to know your cost of goods as a whole. Let's say I spent $3,000 at the auction last year and, $3,000 thrifting and, $3,000 I paid out to my consigners, and I have those numbers. That's all you need for the year. You don't need to know I spent this on this little puppet and this on this. And the same thing with like the platforms in eBay. Like I made, $80,000 last year. Okay, that's it. That's all you need to know. They will give you the breakdown at the end of the year. That is the bare minimum you need to track. And
you just need to know that you're being profitable. You made this much on eBay, this much came out for shipping and fees, and you paid this much for your goods in the last month. And so boom, what are you left with? Like that's it. That's all you need to know.
Now, can you do more than that? Can you track it differently? I track mine weekly. I spend about 10 to 15 minutes pulling those numbers weekly because I like to know where I am for the week. If you're doing this, I've had people say, I'm just doing this for fun. This accounting is really taking over the, fun of it. I'm not enjoying it. Well, if you're just doing it for fun, just pull your numbers at the end of the year.
And when you talk about cost of goods and not needing to know how much every little thing costs, it is good. Like I run my receipts, for like a month or whatever. I'll be like, oh, I just wonder, everything was $2 or less. Like, okay, great. I'm doing fine. And then I don't pay any more attention to it. I'm not going into eBay and putting a note in there saying this item was 57 cents and making sure, or going into Listpert or wherever I have stuff. I'm not like making sure that all that stuff is in there and I have all these notes and I have all this whatever. Like, it's good. I have a track for my taxes. It's fine.
Nick actually does do the extra step.
Nick loves math. Okay.
And we're not saying like don't do the extra steps. We're not saying that at all because we do some of these extra steps. But if it is cutting into your,
actual listing
profitability and listing time, it is time to reconsider that. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm sorry, Molly. Go ahead.
That's all right. Nick does a spreadsheet. So, and he's gotten real good now, which makes it so much easier that, like, when I got home Saturday from stopping at those few yard sales in the Goodwill, he was like, okay, we'll bring the stuff over. Let me get the notebook, da 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 da. And he pulled each receipt and I pulled the items out, $2, and he just wrote it down, you know, shirt, $2, shirt, da 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 da, and wrote it down. And then when he goes to do it into inventory, he will put the cost of goods on. However, I know the reason why he's doing this. Number one, because he's a numbers geek and he just loves anything to do with spreadsheets and numbers.
He does.
But he really wants to get to his retirement so he can do this full time with me.
Mhm.
And I know for him, he really, it's allowing him the opportunity to sit in the background and do it, but also know, okay, what are we really looking at for growth for me to be able to step away?
Mhm.
So, you know, he does do that, but it wouldn't happen if it took away from us being able to actually get the items online and get them sold. That wouldn't happen. He's got his reasons for doing it, and I'm sure within a year he'll stop doing it that way. I think because he's just new, really putting himself into it. He wants to, like Samantha was just saying, she does it each month just to kind of get an idea and make sure she's still on track making a profit.
Yeah.
I think that's him right now. He wants to do it, know that it's all come, and then we just build from there and do less moving forward.
And there are tools like my reseller Genie, for instance, that will
Yes.
track, and you know how much you spent. Like we have people that will track how much the like promoted listing fee is, how much the final value fee is, all of the details on a single item, single transaction. So, you know, if that's something you feel you need to do, there are tools out there that make it much easier.
Yes. And y'all on podcasts, Samantha's sharing this on YouTube. You go to My Reseller Genie, use code CHATS, and you'll get 15% off the first month. And y'all, like you say, I mean, that's the easy way. If you want to do all that and you want all that, get a system like this because it will take all that time off your hands. The initial setup, you get it in there. Paul and Faith will be amazing helping you get it set up. They are beautiful, wonderful, amazing people. And they are resellers who developed this for resellers. So it's the kind of program you want. But
we have met them multiple times, love them as people, and totally stand behind them in anything that they do. Yes.
100%.
And check out our episode with them, also linked up in the show notes. If you really want to, if you'd like to know who you're working with and you know, just see what wonderful people they are, definitely go check that out.
For sure.
And then
so
there's also reports and things that can be run in Consign Cloud, and you can do things in there and integrate this kind of stuff into your daily listing routine, which is how I've done some of that. Yes.
Do I have to do consignment in order to use Consign Cloud?
Absolutely not.
I just wanted to clarify that, y'all. Just like Consignment Chats isn't just for consignment, we're for all resellers. Consign Cloud, they're the same.
It's a beautiful system. That's why I only spend 10 minutes a week doing my accounting.
Consign Cloud.
It's because of Consign Cloud. It's so beautiful.
I can put in if it's my item, if it's somebody else's item, how much it costs me, how much it's all, it's wonderful. Just do it all right there while I'm taking pictures and listing the item. It's easy.
Yeah. And again, code CHATS, get you a bargain, get you a month off with code CHATS. So make sure you put that CHATS in there. All right.
I love it.
That can also, quick thing we're going to talk about. You know, I'm always looking at the time, and gosh knows we could go for hours talking.
We could.
Going that full time, we have other episodes on these things, like your inventory system. You want to find something that works for you. We just want to do a quick touch on these kind of things. If you are going to start bringing more in, set something up ahead of time. And y'all, yes, I am speaking from suffering experience as we speak, because I did not do that. And my house right now, you told me so. My house right now is a bleep show going on over here. It is just, I am going to have to pocket enough money so that I can fly Samantha down here and her take a week off and Nick take a week off just to get my inventory system together, because it is crazy. If I could do it all over again, if you are going part-time to full-time, please please take the time to put together an inventory system that is trackable.
Yeah.
Please,
Yes.
please,
Yes.
please.
Even if you're staying part-time, like everybody, starts with that one little bin. Oh, I got this. And they don't have an inventory system. And then the next thing you know, you're just like bin after bin after bin, or bucket, as Molly likes to say. Bucket
I
after
use-
bucket after bucket.
I use my mama as a prime example of this, and she's going to hate listening to this episode because there's her face again.
Sorry, Becky. Sorry, Becky.
But she started with like literally like a dresser in a spare room kind of thing in like the guest room. And she was like, well, I know that those books are in that dresser in that spare room. And now she has like 10 dressers in 3 different rooms, plus boxes, plus other stuff. And she's like, wait, which dresser was it in? Which room was it in? Which? And I'm like, yes, it starts with a notebook. It's easy. Just a notebook. Tan room is literally the name of her room there. Dresser 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's all you need. Like
That's it. Yeah.
So please,
Take the
for the
time.
love of God, just do it. Even if you have, actually, especially if you have one bin of stuff, this is the time. Trust
It's the
us,
time.
It gets out of control really, really
Y'all,
real fast.
Because the next thing you know, somebody wants you to take their family estate, and you go, oh, okay. And then before you're even a quarter of the way into it, you got another estate coming in, and you can't turn it down because it's free money. Like, you got to take it. And then your son can't come home because you got nowhere for him to sleep.
Right. As you talk about your inventory system, I'm very concerned about where I'm going to sleep next time I'm there. I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you like our couch, so that's good.
It's true. It's not that bad.
I need my room.
Libby needs a room. I can't go. We have encroached a little in your room.
There was. I did notice
Yeah.
that the last time I was there. Yeah. Nick was like, are you up? I have to get some inventory out of there.
Oh, I did not know about
You
this.
didn't?
I didn't
No.
either.
Oh,
No,
It happens.
No.
True
I
story.
didn't know this either. Holy
All
moly.
right. So have
Holy
inventory. Next on the list.
Next
What
on
you
the list is we've talked about some of these tools that you need to save your time, boost your profit. We talked about some of these already. I want to mention cross-listing apps. If you've been selling on one and you want to go full-time and start moving to other platforms, there are many cross-listing apps out there. Libby and I use Vendoo. I got to give a big heart shout out to Vendoo. If you are looking for one that is clean, clear, and has an app so you can do stuff in the car while your husband drives and you're passenger princessing and you can cross this in the car. They got an app. I just can't say enough about it. Yes, we do have a code for Vendoo. It's chats.
You do.
But it is, I had some other reseller friends turn me onto this one. We have used other cross-listing tools in the past. Of all the ones I've used, this by far is my favorite. For my brand and the way I work, it is a beautiful app. Photo editing apps, I talk about these in some of the videos. I think I just recently did a tutorial on Thrift Find Flip that uses Photo Room. Great, quick, simple. You can use the free version to use in your photo editing. We've already talked about spreadsheets, inventory tools, any other tools, your shipping supplies. Make sure you have those set, ready, organized. And
the biggest tool of all is our Patreon group and community.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
And there we go.
I mean, you need that. If you're getting your business set up, if you're streamlining, if you have questions, we have, our group mastermind group, masterminds, our 3-on-1 coaching. And people have really used it to get a real leg up with their businesses. And, don't be afraid to reach out and join us, even if it's a, free member at first, and see the tools and the resources we have available. Because we just get some great feedback on how we've helped people launch their business, streamline their business, brand their business. It's been incredible. Yeah.
Build your brand, not just a store. We believe in it. Build a brand, not just a store. You want people to find you everywhere, to know who you are. Because why? Because then they trust you. Yeah. If you have a good brand for your store and they are familiar with you and they see your logo pop up or your color and font scheme somewhere, it is an immediate feeling of, okay, I'm good here. I can order those jeans. I'm good.
Yeah.
And Molly is an absolute branding expert that has walked several clients through, complete branding of their businesses, like complete with like they leave with a brand kit, logos for everything they need. It's amazing. Watch our episode on Journey with Jill, where she actually documents going through the branding process, and it's phenomenal.
And while you may think, well, I'm just going from, doing this as a hobby, want to ramp up to full time, or still just continuing as a hobby, but want to get more serious about it. But I'm not going to have a Facebook page, so I don't really need a brand. I'm not going to have a YouTube. I don't really need a brand. It is good to get these things taken care of now. We have, like we said, we have tons of episodes about it, and Molly does the coaching as well. But I resold full time for a couple years and then was like, well, I want to add Etsy now. I'm ready. I can add another platform. I already had a Sorting with Samantha Etsy store. I already had Sorting with Samantha. It is so frustrating to me when I ask one of our friends or our members or a community person, and I'm like, oh, well, your name is, Bob's Home Goods. Where is that what you are on eBay? And they're like, no, actually it's Chicklet 547. And you have to make sure that the underscore is between the 5 and the 4. And
it's a Z, not an S. Sorry,
yeah,
it's a Z, not an S.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, well, what about Poshmark? I'll check out your Poshmark. Oh no, that one is.
Oh well, my wife set that up. That's Lillian's love.
We will help you get that all. Don't be embarrassed. Number one, don't be embarrassed.
Yes,
We've all been there. We've all done it. We will
Yeah.
help you get that streamlined,
Yes.
sorted out, cohesively branded. Like, we got your back.
And when I was part-time, never wanting to do, I had a healthcare career and I was never going to end that. I was just going to do this part-time on the side forever. That was my dream. And I was known as Sorting with Samantha, even around the hospital, at my kids' athletic games and stuff like that. Like, oh, Sorting with Samantha. They would giggle and they saw me on Facebook or whatever. And that was a huge benefit when I went full time. I would run into those people or other people and they'd be like, so you did Sorting with Samantha all the time now, hey? Like, is that like, yes, okay. Like, I was already a brand. Like, it was already out there. It was so much easier to say, hey, now I have a website. Like, yeah.
We have so many different things. Like, I'm sitting here and I want somebody to come in so we can help them do this, because now that we're talking about it, like I want to do all of this.
Oh, it's our passion for sure.
Right?
Like,
I want to help somebody like grow and do this. I'm so excited. If this is something you're thinking about, I want to put this one thing out that Libby said to me years ago, and I say it all the time over and over again now, that time is money, y'all. So all these things that we're telling you for you to set it up, the more streamline your shipping processes, the more streamline your inventory processes, the more streamline your listing and cross-listing process is, it saves money. Yes, you might put a little money out to get a cross-listing platform like Vendor. Yes, you might put a little money out to get an inventory system, but trust me, as your business builds, it will pay for itself. Because the more time you spend searching for an item in your inventory that you can't find, or, I mean, how many times have we done this? I mean, we have funny stories about us looking for 3 days straight over and over for an item that's sold that we can't find, instead of just moving forward, because all that time you spent, you could have had 100 items listed and live for sale.
Libby's sun catchers.
Libby's, that's exactly what was in my mind. That's exactly what was in my mind. Yes, 100%, 100%. But these are the things. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, that is a huge part of it too, is making sure that you have a schedule, you stick to it, you keep your boundaries with your schedule. The hardest part about going full time or working from home or having the balance that we have, that you heard us talk about for the first half hour of this, is, okay, I had a great weekend. I even had a 2.5-day weekend because it was my birthday. I am now in my office all day today. I have time scheduled tomorrow. I have a full day scheduled on Thursday. Like, I made sure to go through my week and have my days and tell my husband I'm in my office today. Like I'm doing this today. Like
Boundaries.
Yes.
This is why you want to start off and you want to plan for growth,
Yes.
not burnout, because
Right.
you want to get that schedule. And that's what I like you're saying. Like I set my schedule up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like a job.
Yeah.
But then my others are not. Like
Right.
you set your schedule. We set our schedule in our Patreon Reseller Reset every Sunday night. And I look at the week, like sometimes there might be something special going on a certain day. So I adjust it.
Mhm.
But those days that are work days, I set my schedule and it's like I go to work. Like Samantha said, you go to work, you are plugged in, you have that schedule, you know what you're doing from here to here to here.
Yeah.
And then on this day, you have your other things. And this is why if you're doing this from home, this is what keeps it fun.
Yeah.
This is what keeps it fun. Finding a community, keeping it all together, and scheduling the business focused mind and the freedom, because this is why we do this, right? We do this because it gives us the freedom. It gives us fun to work with friends and Patreon and in the reseller community to do things together. It gives us all of that, but you can't lay on the couch and eat bonbons. If you're going to lay on the couch with bonbons, you got to sell the bonbons, right, Dawn?
Amen. Right? Yes,
But
Dawn.
if you guys, like, I've been doing a daily vlog of what it's like to be a day in the life, reseller reflections here on the Consignment Chats channel, what it's actually like to be a day in the life of a full-time reseller. Like, if you're kind of curious, you're like, I don't know. And, you know, I've set some pretty lofty goals for myself throughout the year. So you want to see what the roller coaster is really like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go take a listen.
Yeah.
Follow along.
Perfect.
I have one more thing. You keep clapping your hands, but I got one more thing. So you have this list. People are now thinking, they're like, okay, I want to get this in order. I got to look into this. I got to research that. Oh, my inventory. I have 10 totes of stuff and it's not inventoried. Stop right now and do those things. Don't say, oh, I'll do a tote a week for the next whatever. It is sometimes just so much easier just to take 4 hours right now and do it than to try to spread it out so that you're not wasting your time today, because the time you could put in now could help you for the future.
It's an investment. You're investing your time now that it'll pay off later.
Yes. When I quit my job, I spent like 3 days just doing Shopify because I wanted a website. I had a vision and a plan, and Shopify is a pain in the butt. And I don't recommend that most people need that, but I wanted it and I use it. But I just spent days just getting it done because doing a little bit here and there was not going to work for me. We recommend doing a little bit here and there for a lot of tasks, but when it comes to this transition, just set up your processes completely now and then move forward. Your processes are always going to change. You're going to tweak them. You're going to mess with stuff. But when it comes to these like foundational building blocks of a business, just do it now. Sort out your inventory, get your platform straightened out, whatever it is, just do it all now. And then you're going to feel great about it next week.
And if you have a process that is like your bane of your existence part of the process, join our Patreon for 1 month with the coaching, and we will meet with you and we will help you break down that process. And we can break that down instead of an hour coaching into 2 30-minute sessions, which we do a lot with people. And we spend the first 30 minutes kind of getting where you are, what you want, how you want to do it. Then we give you homework, and then we meet again later in the month, and then we go over what have you done, what's been working, how can we help you tweak it. We love to do that. So if you want that help for all of them, great. If you have that one thing that we all have it, that one thing you just don't like to deal with and you need help with, we got your back. We're here for you. We say that all the time, and we mean it. We mean it. And just remember, success isn't overnight. But it's possible. We all three are here to tell you it is possible. We have a bunch of people in our community that will tell you it is possible. Samantha went from sushi and Starbucks to a full-time successful reseller. Her husband is retired. He is now her unpaid shipping manager.
He has fringe benefits. It's fine.
He does. And one of the things that I can't believe Libby's not popping in here, because this came to my mind, and this is usually her thing. every step along the way, celebrate the small wins as you're going through this
Yes.
process. That is so important. So
Yep.
important to celebrate those things. So make sure you go in the comments. Let us know. Are you already full-time, but you got something good out of this and now you're going to go tweak something? Are you thinking about going full-time? If so, we want to know. We want to know who you are, what your process is. We want to know. Just come on.
Yeah.
Tell us below. Put it in the comments. So make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff, all that stuff we're supposed to always say. Share it with your bestie. That's how we ended up here, because we share everything with each other. So we were like, let's just share it with everybody else. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Until next time.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we grow your reselling business. For all things Consignment Chats, visit us at consignmentchats.com and join our free private communities on Facebook and/or Patreon.